Have you ever wanted to see inside a piano? Welcome to Tea and Empathy. It's me, your Penfriend, beaming in from my ground control room in Nottingham, UK. I've got my album recording diary here and I am super confused. Things have slowed down a little bit since I raced past my absolutely ridiculous 3-week deadline. Last week was not super productive in terms of recording, but this week has been. It's Tuesday the 13th of August and my friend Jay Chakravorty has been here since Sunday night, playing the piano for me on 4 songs on the new album. And it's been so fun not being on my own all the time recording. The weather's lovely as well, so it feels like summer holidays. I feel very relaxed and energized by having someone very talented and fun to be around. It's been really great. I've been sitting in here. This is the downstairs room in my house where the piano lives, and just gradually working through the songs. And I've just been sitting over there at the desk with headphones on, thoroughly enjoying hearing my piano played so beautifully. Now this is probably one of the best £80 I ever spent. Ever since I was a very little child, I've wanted to play the piano and own a piano. And it took me till January 2015 to make the second dream come true. Before that, I always lived in flats, or I lived in places I knew I wouldn't be for very long. So there was absolutely no point trying to find a piano. But in July 2014, I moved into my first house of my own in Bristol and almost immediately started looking for a suitable piano. And there's always a free or cheap piano available. I know now, having moved this very heavy thing between several houses, I know now that quite often it's because it becomes this giant entity in the home that, you know, if you don't use it very much, it starts to become questionable why you're keeping hold of it. But I'm really glad that even though we've lived in some slightly pokey spots where maybe if we hadn't had a piano, we would have had, well, exactly this much more room to live in. I'm really glad that we kept hold of this one because it was a very early date going to collect this piano. I decided that I'd invite my new boyfriend, Tim, along with me to see this piano that I'd found on Gumtree for £80. And it just felt like a step forward in that relationship, which was already very exciting and fun and very meaningful. But I'm pretty sure we'd only been going out with each other for 2 or 3 weeks. So looking back now, it seems like that's not very long, but I think when you know, you know, and we knew, and we still know. And so this piano has been with us from the very early days. And I had it tuned for the first time just a few months after moving into this house. I thought it was finally time to try and see if I could take better care of this beautiful thing. And the man who came round to tune it and give it a little bit of a clean said it was in excellent condition for its age. And he said it's at least 100 years old, if not 120. And I find that kind of amazing, and how fitting that it now lives in a Victorian front room, because this house that I'm in now is probably the same age as this piano. So, I mean, they were made for each other, weren't they? I have a little bit of news for you, which is that I am making this video series, Tea and Empathy, into a regular live stream as well. It's an experiment, like everything I do. We'll see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to this because I work alone and I don't get a lot of opportunity to talk to other people about creativity, grit and determination. That's why I did a podcast series about those very topics. And I haven't been doing that for a while. So I would love to connect with you if you are a creative person, or if you like to be a creative person. If you've got it into your head that you're not a creative person, you are wrong. And I'd like to help show you that and encourage you to do whatever it is that you have in your heart and in your mind that you want to do. So yeah, the first Tea and Empathy Live will be on Wednesday the 21st of August 2024. And the idea is that you bring me your questions about your creative projects or creative projects that you might want to do. So questions about the blank page, defeating the inner critic, anything about creativity, projects, goal setting, and anything in between. Whatever you're working on or want to work on, if you want any kind of encouragement or advice, just come along and ask your question either in the chat box or in the comments, and I will do my very best to give you a decent answer. I wrote down some numbers earlier, which I will use now to impress you about my credentials. I've been performing live in bands and solo for 25 years. I have been freelancing in video production, audio production and all sorts of other things, social media, marketing, email marketing, and all that kind of stuff, and writing on the internet for 20 years. I have been making and releasing albums independently for 15 years, and I've been running a membership for 5 years. I also have 2 #1 official UK chart trophies and 2 Blue Peter badges. You're also very welcome to ask me any burning questions you may have about any aspect of those things that I've just mentioned, even if you're not doing them yourself. Feel free to be nosy. You can ask me in the comments below on this video, or you can come to one of the Tea and Empathy live streams and ask me there. I feel so lucky that I've been into music and all of the stuff that I do since a very, very early age. I was very sure as a teenager that I was going to be a musician. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was very, very sure. And if you watched my last video, first of all, thank you very much for not leaving a horrible neggy comment, which you easily could have done considering the subject matter. Heartfelt thanks for that, because I was a little bit worried about that one. But if you watch that video and the one before that one, you'll know that I'm trying to shift my brain into a mode where I can believe that big, exciting, semi-unbelievable things could happen in my future if I focus on making them happen and obviously do all the work required to get to that point. And it's funny because I didn't really realise, age 12, 13, that that's what I was doing by deciding or starting to tell people, starting to tell friends at school, teachers, pen pals, and my parents that I was going to be a singer. That's what I first started saying. And then I started playing guitar, started playing bass, and things kind of rolled on from there. So I'm just refreshing that mode of thinking at the moment, really, and it feels really good. And I want to help you feel really good about the things that you want to do. Hence making this series of videos in the first place, and hence, I don't know why I'm saying hence so much, it doesn't sound like a real word anymore, hence making a live stream version of Tea and Empathy as well. Hope to see you there. Thank you for joining me for this lovely cup of black coffee. I'm going to go over there now and make sense of all of the piano files that I've been collecting over the past couple of days of hanging out with Jay, so that tomorrow morning I can get back upstairs to the launchpad and start recording guitars. Jay has made an absolutely gorgeous album called A Map With No Memory. Check out the description box for links to his YouTube channel and to that beautiful album. And I've also put a link to my song Strong Enough that I released on my 2018 She Makes War album Brace for Impact, which Jay also played on. Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying your summer, and maybe see you on Wednesday for Tea and Empathy Live. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon.